Hello and welcome to another What's Inside. Today we are looking at Pikmi Pops Surprise Lollipop Chase Game for 2 to 4 players, ages 5 and up. This is from 2018 Pressman Games. It does include a sweet scented plush inside. I don't know what that means, but let's find out. It's just held together with a little piece of tape, which my fingernail is easy to destroy. So let's see what we've got here. Okay. So here's some pieces. We'll look at those a little more closely here in a minute. Here's our instructions. These are actually reasonable thickness paper. It's very colorful. It doesn't look like the game's very hard to play. It's really only one folded page. Pretty straightforward, lots of pictures. Here's our little characters, little board, spinner, some pop-outs, and we've got a deck of cards and the actual game board. So let's take a look at the game board first, because I want to keep adjusting the camera. Alright, this has really cheap gloss on it, so this is, if it's stored in a hot environment, this is going to get real tacky real quick. But otherwise, the thickness is really good on the cardstock. Sorry, you're getting some reflection from the lights there. It's a pretty decent size. It's a 4-fold, so you'll want to check the seams to make sure they're not ripped if you're picking this up. And because it is for younger kids, you know, it's very bright in pastels, and it's very magenta on here. So let's get that out of the way and take a look at the rest of this stuff. Okay, so you get a spinner with the actual spinning arrow and the backer piece. Now you could find a replacement for this if it does get lost, but if you're trying to keep the theme of the game, you'll probably want to make sure this piece is here. And it does have the copyright information on it, and it is that weirdly bright color on it. So that's that. Then you've got 16 lollipops, 4 of each color. Pretty straightforward stuff. It's two-sided. They're the same on both sides. So make sure these are all accounted for if you're picking it up used. Then we've got these mats. And obviously each player needs one of each color lollipop. They're one-sided, and they are all identical. But there are 4 of them, and you can kind of hear them squished together, because the longer these are stored on a stack like this, the more likely they are to stick together because of this cheap coating that's on here. Okay, then we've got stands. These are kind of a strawberry red, a yellow, this sort of, I don't know what that is, green, like a seafoam green, and then a light purple. They're very pastel looking. These are for these pieces. These are your little movers. They come in this little envelope. So there's 4 of them. We have Dream the Unicorn, which is your yellow player. Then we've got Gizmit the Guinea Pig. I've never seen a guinea pig that looks like that, but cool. Then we have Peachy the dog. And we've got Leroy the monkey. So they're very cutesy little things, and they're all color coordinated so you know what stand goes with what guy. And these are just cardstock. They're pretty thin, so they could bend very easily if you're not careful with them. So be attentive to that. Next up we have whatever this thing is. This is our little plushy thing, I think. It is perforated on the side. And I don't know what this is. Is this a cow? Oh, it does smell pretty nice. It smells like candy. Let's see if it says who this is. No, there's no name on it. It does have wipe with damp cloth if it gets dirty. So I'm not sure who this character is, unfortunately, so I couldn't tell you, but it is a small little, it feels like there's plastic beans in there, so it's fairly soft. It's got a little thing up here so you can hang it up or attach it to something. It's pretty cute. It's got a little face on it. And it smells like candy, so there's that. Alright, let's take a look at the cards and see what we've got in here. There should be a total of 40 challenge cards in this deck. And they say Lollipop Challenge on them. And the back of all the cards is the same. See if they're not numbered. So we have Kaz the Squirrel. Sorry, there's little slicks, so they're gonna bounce around on the table here. Twirl the Monkey. Dollop the Kitten. Tater the Golden Retriever. Squeaks the Mouse. Beeps the Owl. Kimmy the Cat. Chada the Parrot. Cloppy the Pony. Bibble the Lamb. Nino the Owl. Selby Sloth. Ickle the Parakeet. Pingle the Hedgehog. Asha the Bunny. Alfalfa the Bear. Ookie the Monkey. Mitty the Owl. Mumpy the Bunny. Juju the Giraffe. Mooly the Crab. Squirrel the Caterpillar. Leroy the Monkey. Fetty the Cat. Smory the Dog. Tiki the Cow. That's what this thing is, I guess. Then we have Folly the Bunny. Hobnob the Hamster. Numble the Bear. Moosh the Kitten. Bubbles the Goldfish. Tickles the Octopus. Togi the Puppy. Voom the Shark. Guggles the Clownfish. Wubs the Bat. Ebby the Bunny. Peachy the Dog. Hickey the Parrot. And lastly, Ollie the Bear. Alright, so the card quality is not too bad actually. They're a little bit thin, but if you're careful with them or you buy protective sleeves for them, they should hold up just fine. They're very colorful. The art's really solid on all of this stuff. It's pretty well thought out, and I guess Pikmi Pops are real popular with younger kids, so it does have that appeal. Plus you get this scented little stuffed cow thing, which does smell like candy. So that's making me hungry. And that's everything that's inside Pressman's Pikmi Pops Surprise Lollipop Chase Game. The scented plushie thing is probably what's going to be missing from used copies because it's not related to the game and kids don't want to play with that. So if you're buying this used, be aware of that. That piece is probably missing, but it's not essential to the game. The other pieces I would definitely check to see how mangled up they are, but otherwise there's not a lot of components there. The 40 cards, if you lose a couple of them, that's not a huge deal for gameplay, but for collector purposes that will be a problem. Thankfully there's only 40 cards, So it's a pretty straightforward game, very colorful, decent quality actually. I was kind of impressed with that. I thought it'd be a much cheaper game, but it's actually pretty decent card quality and card stock. The coating on the board itself is kind of cheap, so over time that's probably going to degrade pretty heavily and probably stick together, so be aware of that. Otherwise, it's a pretty decent game. I would recommend it. It looked like a pretty straightforward, fun game. It's easy to play. It's aimed at ages 5 and up, so there's not a lot of problems there. And if you're looking for something to play with your kids, this is probably not too bad. So 5 to 8 is probably the target range for these. So I think you'd do fine with that. But we've seen what's in the box. I've told you my opinion of it. That's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss future unboxings and reviews. If you want to help the channel in other ways, links are in the description and on the About page. If you are subscribed, make sure you ring the bell for notifications so you know when new videos come out. And as always, we hope to see you on the next episode.